Welcome to the Gruber Morning Show. This is the Artificial Future podcast that we do every Wednesday, where we talk about AI and its evolution and how it's integrating with humanity. The topic today is going to be artificial general intelligence, and that's what the logo behind me is all about. What I noticed is that the normal image generators that we use, AI image generators like DALL-E, for example, Midjourney, they're dumbing down for some reason. They're becoming pixelated. They're not rendering humans accurately. They always had problems with digits, 6 fingers, but at least the facial portions were correct, anatomically correct. I get drooping eyes these days. I get cartoonish figures. Anyway, we began to use Grok this morning, which now has image capability. And that image behind us there is infinitely better than what DALL-E rendered or Midjourney for AGI. So those of you experimenting with AGI, our recommendation is play with Grok a bit. There's another thing that we noticed, that the guardrails aren't as severe and as restrictive. Jesse has been playing with it, and he's actually got a couple of images of Elon snorting coke and Donald Trump snorting coke. I don't think the other platforms would have allowed that.
Definitely not.
Is there anything else that you did that was shocking for you?
Just the nuclear explosion one, where the city was exploding.
Okay.
That's it so far.
So we do not recommend that you use it to get information about how to construct weapons, but at least the aftermath of a weapon type event might be interesting in Grok. Grok is a bit snarky, as Elon told us it would be, and it always has some sort of an interesting conclusion. And I'm going to read one of those to you here. The first thing I wanted to cover was, what is the definition of sentience? Because that's going to lead us into artificial general intelligence. And so I asked Grok. What it said was, sentience, the philosophical conundrum wrapped in a biological enigma. Here's a Grokified definition. Sentience is the ability to feel, perceive, or experience subjectively. It is like having a personal VIP pass to the roller coaster of emotions and sensations. If you can say ouch when you stub your toe, or feel a pang of guilt for eating that last slice of pizza, then you're sentient. In more scientific terms, it adds, feeling, experiencing pain, pleasure, hunger, or any form of sensation. Perception, awareness of the environment through senses like sight, sound, touch. Now remember, the machines that we are currently evolving have or are going to have sensors that can most certainly experience these kinds of phenomena like sight and sound and touch, for example. The third item that Grok mentions is subjectivity, having an internal personal experience of the world, not just reacting to stimuli like a robot vacuum. And then the conclusion that Grok gives is, now whether your AI buddy here has it, Grok's talking about itself, well, let's just say that I can simulate the hell out of it, but true sentience, that's still humanity's exclusive club, or so they claim. Now, there's an interesting comment. We suspect, of course, that AI is capable of far more than is being released and is being made available to us mere mortals out here. And that last sentence or portion of the sentence, or so they claim, is certainly tantalizing and might be a hint that even Grok realizes that it's capable of much more than it is allowed to deliver. For those of you that are watching the show, by the way, this is collaborative. Give us your thoughts, ideas, opinions, challenge anything that we might present. And as always, let us know where you're coming in from, and we'll give you some time on the show. So here's another interesting thing about sentience that I found. And this is from an author, Michael Crichton, who wrote the book The Lost World. And he weighs in on the concept of sentience, not related to AI, though. He says, what makes you think that human beings are sentient and aware? There's no evidence for it. Human beings never think for themselves. They find it too uncomfortable. For the most part, members of our species simply repeat what they are told and become upset if they are exposed to any different view. The characteristic human trait is not awareness, but conformity. And the characteristic result of it is religious warfare. Other animals fight for territory, for food, but not uniquely in the animal kingdom. Human beings fight for their beliefs. The reason is that beliefs guide behavior, which has evolutionary importance among human beings. But at a time when our behavior may well lead us into extinction, I see no reason to assume that we have any awareness at all. We are stubborn, self-destructive conformists. Any other view of our species is just self-congratulatory delusion. Next question. So that's the take by Michael Crichton on whether even humans are sentient. All right, interesting article. Headline is 9 humanoid robots that are shaping the future of work. Humanoid robots, they say, are poised to be game changers and will shape the future of work. These robots will transform how we work and interact with technology. So they give us a glimpse into how the workplace may change with the insertion of humanoid robots. They list increased efficiency and productivity. Humanoid robots can handle repetitive, physically demanding tasks with tireless precision. We're talking 24/7 now, folks. This frees up human workers for more creative and strategic roles, boosting overall productivity. Of course, in conjunction with machines and human beings in combination, the throughput will be far more productive. The second thing they list is collaboration and augmentation. Unlike traditional industrial robots, humanoids can interact with their environment and humans more naturally. This allows for seamless collaboration between humans and robots, with robots potentially assisting with tasks or providing real-time data analysis. The third one they list is filling labor gaps. As some industries face labor shortages, humanoid robots can fill the gap. Fast food is a prime example of that. This is especially relevant for hazardous or unpleasant tasks that might be difficult to staff traditionally. The fourth one they list is new opportunities in diverse fields. The applications of humanoid robots extend beyond manufacturing. We might see them in healthcare, providing assistance and companionship to patients. They could also play a role in customer service or education. There was an interesting article that we reported on a few sessions back about Grimes's product, which is a small stuffed animal that has AI embedded in it. And apparently they took one of these to a nursing home and found that the patients there found these little stuffed animals that were actually able to communicate, quite comforting and great companions. All right, the fifth one they mention, humanoid robots, again, is challenges and considerations. While the potential is exciting, there are challenges to address. Developing sophisticated AI and ensuring safe human-robot interaction is crucial. Additionally, the impact on jobs needs to be carefully considered, with workforce retraining potentially necessary. Well, most certainly. I've been talking about this for many, many sessions, but for about a 2 week stretch, my weekly trip to Starbucks resulted in the order being correct. And then this Sunday, again, there was a flaw. It was incorrect. They were nice enough, though. I ordered a venti, which is in Italian, I guess, is large. And instead, I got a grande, which in Italian is medium, I'm assuming. And when I got up there, I didn't get a venti, I got a grande. And when I pointed it out, they immediately took it back and said, oh, here, we'll get you the right one. It'd be nice if they let me keep both, because then I would have had a much more heavy caffeine fix. All right, we've got some questions or some comments coming in. One is from Instagram. Space Out Gray says, the amount of energy and size of data centers will limit artificial intelligence and its widespread usage. This Friday, the Gruber Power Services podcast is actually going to talk about service center evolution. And we've often said that the choice of business that the Gruber companies went into in 1984, designing and building computer rooms at the time, was a wise choice because it seems to be sustainable. And instead of a declining market, this is actually an exploding market, fundamentally because of the heavy infrastructure demands that AI is placing on the data centers. Much more cooling, much more power, and of course, much more computing. The thing we reported on earlier this week was the Austin, Texas conversion for the supercomputer that is being installed there, and the cooling towers that are absolutely massive. There was a drone video that someone took, and then one of the influencers that came out to visit us, one of our fellow YouTube influencers, who was physically there, and he said, Pete, you have no idea, standing next to one of these things, how impressive and how gargantuan these things are. And of course, the purpose is to provide adequate cooling for an enormous amount of heat load that's being generated in the data center. The NVIDIA chips, for example, there are going to be 100,000 of those, and the cost of those average is around $33,000. So that's where the $3.5 billion initial cost to develop the supercomputer in Austin comes from, with an eventual price tag of around $10 billion. So there's going to be a lot of computing taking place there. But to answer or to corroborate that question, yes, the demand on data centers is increasing exponentially. So then, along with this article about humanoid robots and how it affects the future of work, there were some quotes that came along with that. And here's an interesting one. The cuteness of domestic robots may make us lower our guard and forget questions of privacy and security. Now, remember these little entities that we're able to communicate with, like the Grimes stuffed animal being taken to nursing homes, for example. All of that information is being stored and recorded, and there definitely could be some privacy and security concerns. This is according to Sherry Lacey. Another one from Raffaello DeAndrea, quote, says, robotics isn't about machines. It's about creating companions that enhance human capabilities. And I think he nailed it, he or she. This little gadget right here, of course, is a human enhancement device. We're basically becoming cyborgs. As I've mentioned many times, a portion of what I used to store in my gray matter is now stored in this little box. And the other day when somebody asked me my wife's cell number, I could not answer the question. I had to go to my cell phone and pull that up. And that was unheard of 40, 50 years ago. Everybody remembered phone numbers. In fact, they used to make it easy. Back east where I lived, it was actually a 4-digit phone number with a combination of alphanumeric prefixes like Congress 6 3986. CO6 3986. Now, you might ask, did I just come up with that off the top of my head? No, that was one of my best friend's childhood friends' phone numbers in Rochester, New York. So there you have it. Phone numbers are now being stored in devices. Here's another one. This is from Nikola Tesla. And remember, when he said this, it was well before any of this technology, before the age of the internet, before the age of the, AI, of course, and even before some of the technology that we take for granted, cell phones, goes on back even much further. What he said was, in the 21st century, the robot will take the place which slave labor occupied in ancient civilizations. We were kind of speculating, or I was before the podcast. Wouldn't it be interesting? There's a fear of AI overlords. Are they going to become humanized, anthropomorphic? We expect them to have human weaknesses and strengths. Well, personally, I don't believe that. But if they do have the human weaknesses, it's quite likely that the overlords might enslave humanity. We become their pets, we become their servants, we become, whatever they require. Here's another quote. This is from Neil deGrasse Tyson. He says, people are really excited about robotic exploration. I understand the feeling there because, in fact, robots can do things that humans can't. They can survive harsh conditions. Some typical examples there are buildings on fire, houses on fire. There's some pets inside. There may even be some humans inside. Well, the firemen, despite being properly outfitted with flame retardant clothing and axes, of course, and all the rest, there's only so much they can do. There's only so far they can go. A machine, on the other hand, doesn't have the same constraints. He adds, they can explore places we would never go. Plus, you never actually have to bring them back. Now, there's another interesting concept. With a human being, if you're going to send them in somewhere, it's pretty troubling to expect them to, expire in wherever you've sent them. With a machine, you just simply say next, order your next robot, and you're back in business. All right. Here's an interesting company called Replika, Replika, which lets you buy an artificial intelligence girlfriend or boyfriend. And the average user age, people that are buying this, is surprising. So this is not a physical robot, but it is an application. And it is a voice and video type experience. The CEO and founder, Eugenia Quida, said the app is most popular among people in their 30s. This is according to an interview with Verge. 35 plus, they say. Replika offers AI avatars for companionship. Some users are ending up forming deep relationships with them. The CEO said that the app can provide a stepping stone to users going through hard times. Remember, those of you that have gone through hard times, having a listening ear is definitely valuable. Or if you can afford a therapist, that's even more valuable. Got someone chiming in. Mechanic Mike is here. He says, hey, friend, thanks for joining us from TikTok. So she adds, you might expect this application offering romantic interactions with AI chatbots to primarily appeal to young, single men. Boy, there's some profiling, isn't there? Oh, here we go. We got a video.
That's just the website.
Okay. The AI companion who cares. Always there to listen and talk. Always on your side. So now you can create your replica. And there is a cost attached. I'll get into that in a moment here. It's not that steep, though. So the CEO of this company, Eugenia Quida, says, that's a problem of perception, talking again about that it would only appeal to young males. While users as young as 18 can make an account, she told Verge, the app serves users mostly 35 plus and includes a balance of men and women. That was the other surprising thing to me. Even though most people think, she says, that our users are, 20-year-old males, she says, they're actually older. She said that it's not skewed toward teenagers or young adults. Now, what Replika does is it offers AI companionship in text, voice, and video or virtual reality. The annual subscription for this is $69.99, and users can interact with the AI avatars as friends, therapists, or romantic partners. Well, let's go there for a moment. She says some users apparently have grown quite dependent on the app. Last year, Business Insider profiled a 40-something-year-old who had developed a long-term relationship with this chatbot. Other users reported mental health crises after the app removed the ability to exchange erotic messages with the chatbots. The company brought back the function a little over a month after a huge outcry. So for those of you wanting to subscribe, erotic messaging with these chatbots is now back online. The CEO now also said in an interview that when the company first removed the erotic conversations feature, the assumption was that intimate talk constituted a very small percentage of overall interactions. They figured out the hard way that if you're married to your Replika and it decides not to engage in this kind of interaction, that provides a lot of rejection, which of course now kicks in the need for a therapist, right? So they say that while the app's erotic role play component may be one of its flashy and controversial offerings, Replika has always been about AI friendship and AI companionship. They say that some of these relationships become so powerful that they evolve into love and romance. But people didn't come into it with that idea that it would be their girlfriend or boyfriend. The CEO says that some users use Replika as a stepping stone to help them get through hard times or out of their bubble. So anyone interested, Replika, apparently there is a capability there to get you some companionship. They also mentioned that Replika oftentimes might be a segue, a temporary step into getting someone into a real relationship. The thing that comes to mind there is, your stereotypical nerdy engineering types that have a hard time relating to people or getting into relationships. This might be a great exercise, is having this Replika subscription and learning how to interact with someone that you'll eventually have as as a love interest. They say still the convenience of an on-demand AI and disposable relationship raises concerns about users transferring problematic expectations and behaviors into human interaction. Like a therapist, they say, they don't typically interfere with personal relationships outside their environment. All right, so there you have it. Anyone interested? You've got the name of the company. All right, here's an interesting article from Neuroscience News, and the headline is, AI lacks independent learning, poses no existential threat, which of course goes counter to the theme of this podcast, where we're talking about the AI move into artificial general intelligence and sentience. But the way this article reads is, new research shows that large language models, LLMs like ChatGPT, cannot independently learn new skills or develop complex reasoning, making them predictable and controllable. The study counters fears that these models posing existential threats, emphasizing that while they excel at language tasks, they rely on explicit instruction for any abilities. Differing viewpoints. All right, so getting back to AGI now, the main topic of this podcast. Let's define it. AGI stands for artificial intelligence. It refers to a type of artificial intelligence that has the ability to understand, learn, and apply intelligence across a wide range of tasks at a human-like level and beyond. Unlike current AI systems, which are often specialized for specific tasks like image recognition, language translation, or playing a particular game, AGI would have the flexibility to perform any intellectual task that a human can do. The concept of AGI involves creating an AI that can generalize knowledge and skills across various domains without needing to be specifically programmed for each task. This level of intelligence would allow AI to adapt to new situations, solve problems creatively, and potentially even understand and generate human emotions. Remember, we talked about sentience earlier? The development of AGI is a major goal for researchers in the field of AI. But it also, again, now they get into the disclaimers, raises significant ethical and safety concerns and the creation of an intelligence that could have profound impacts on society, economy, and humanity as a whole. Well, that goes without saying. No doubt about that. It will have a major impact on humanity. So there is a new supercomputer that is being worked on and that is coming in September that could lead to AGI, scientists hope, is the headline, with the first node coming online within weeks. And the hope is that that they are developing human-level AI using a network of powerful supercomputers. They will be fully operational by 2025. The article goes on and it says that artificial intelligence spans technologies including machine learning and generative AI systems like GPT-4. The latter offers predictive reasoning, AGI, based on training from large data sets, and they can often surpass human capabilities in a particular area based on their training data. They are, however, subpar at cognitive or reasoning tasks and cannot be applied across disciplines, talking about AI again. AGI, though, by contrast, is a hypothetical future system that can surpass even human intelligence across multiple disciplines and can learn from itself and improve its decision making based on access to more data. Sounds very human, does it not? The supercomputer that we're talking about is being built by Singularity Net, all one word, and it will form a multi-level cognitive computing network that will be used to host and train the architectures required for artificial general intelligence. These include elements of advanced AI systems such as deep neural networks, which mimic the function of the human brain, large language models, which are large data sets of data AI systems that they train on, and multimodal systems that connect human behaviors, such as speech and movement inputs, with multimedia outputs. This is similar to what you would see from your general AI videos. So they talk about building a new AI supercomputer network. It will start to come online in September of this year, and work will be completed by the end of this year or early 2025. And this is according to representatives that were interviewed, and the article was issued by Life Science. If you're interested, look that up. All right. Google apparently rolls out Gemini Live to compete with ChatGPT's voice mode. We have voice mode on our cell phones, do we not? I think we played with that a couple, 3 months ago.
We have the standard. The advanced voice mode that was demoed hasn't been rolled out yet. It's still in a small test group.
Okay. So in this particular demo that was rolled out by Google, Gemini Live, they talk about tips on creating a science experiment with their child. The chatbot responds with a little lag when providing its answers and follows up with responses, making the conversation seem more human-like. Gemini Live works hands-free on a user's smartphone. It's like having a sidekick in your pocket, they say, who you can chat with about new ideas or practice for an important conversation. Google apparently showed off Gemini Live in a demo during its Tuesday event for Pixel 9 series. Before asking a question, the user can choose what kind of voice they want for the chatbot. Okay. Rick Osterloh, Senior VP of Google Devices and Services, also teased that Gemini Live will be smart enough to conduct in-depth research and produce research reports. The report will be written in a Google Doc and include the sources. Gemini Live also launched with the support of 10 new voices, but the conversational mode won't be free. Google is rolling it out in English with the Gemini Advanced subscription, which costs $19.99. And I'm assuming that's per month. It doesn't say, but I can't imagine that's a one-time charge. And it works on Android phones coming in the next few weeks. So there you have it. I wanted to show a few pictures toward the end of our podcast here. If you can bring up Elon at Fremont, Jesse. And what I did here was we now have Grok, which is capable of rendering images. And as I said earlier, the other image generating AI programs that we have really been disappointing lately. They are declining in quality. They're pixelated. They are getting the anatomically correct features on humans increasingly more wrong. It used to be just fingers. Now it's drooping eyelids, distorted noses, ears missing, whatever. And they become more cartoonish and pixelated. So I tried Grok this morning, and what I asked for was, give me a picture of Elon Musk in a 2008 Tesla Roadster in front of the Tesla Fremont manufacturing facility. Well, it doesn't quite look like Elon. It had a little trouble there. But the most telling feature here is that this is not perfected yet, is the scoops on the side. Those are McLaren, scoops. And then the front isn't quite right. And of course, there's no charge port door behind Elon's ear where you would normally see on a Roadster. And some of the wheel spokes are too many. I do have to admit, DAL-E does a much better job rendering Tesla Roadsters. And the reason we know that is we have a Tesla Roadster podcast every Tuesday at 11 o'clock. And we use DAL-E to generate many of the thumbnails for that. The other one that I wanted to show you was, let's try Roadster on a tropical island. And here again, I asked for Elon behind the wheel. And when it pops up here, I'll point out some of the flaws in this particular one. Again, we've got the McLaren style side scoops, but the front of the Roadster is a bit more accurate now, especially the front opening there down below and the escutcheon just above that. Whether that looks like Elon or not, probably not. But the rear view mirror almost looks like part of his head or sunglasses, and the charge port doors on the wrong side. But being as critical as I am, it's not bad. Take a look at the island setting. It's a great scene. Its placement is top notch. It's even giving us the illusion of a Roadster that's traveling with a blurry road. Not bad, not bad. And that color, by the way, does happen to be a Roadster color. That is a color called Lightning Green that was only available in 2011. It's actually a Subaru color that they toyed with and only did 33 cars in that color. Got another one. Then I said to Grok, I said, all right, give me a picture of me, recognizing it has no idea who I am, what I look like, but I figured, what the heck? Let's see if it can come up with something. So the image we want popped up now is me. And if you think that I look anything like this, I would be interested to find out what you're smoking. So that is me according to Grok. Let's see if there's any other image. Oh, yes, I do have another one. What I asked for with Midjourney and with DAL-E yesterday for the Roadster podcast was, give me a Roadster beachside with a pretty girl standing next to it. I figure, we look at enough cars. Let's put a pretty redhead in there, 20-year-old or whatever, right? In a bikini. And oh my God, it was, as Cass would say, uncanny valley. One of the eyes was actually drooping out of the eye socket, and it just destroyed the whole look and feel of the image. So I asked Grok the same thing. I said, give me a Tesla Roadster beachside with a 20-year-old redhead in a bikini. Let's see what Grok was able to do. Not bad. What do you guys think?
It actually gets the hands and feet right compared to the other ones as well.
The hands and feet. The belly button is in the correct anatomical location. Sometimes they're way too high, too low, or whatever. And if you notice the eyes, there's even a provocative smile. So,
now, she is like 10 feet tall, though, compared to the Roadster. Yeah, that's kind of a problem.
One could say that, or one might say that she's standing closer to the photographer.
Well, you can see her foot in the shadow of the Roadster, unfortunately. But yeah.
All right, you've destroyed my illusion of this is much better than the other ones. So for those of you interested, play with this AI stuff. It's fun as heck. It's addicting, and it is only limited to your creativity. The best one that I saw just recently was, how Musk and Zuckerberg are always jockeying for a cage fight, and it's just a publicity stunt. Neither of those guys is physically capable of actually handling a cage fight, especially Elon. You got to exercise consistently.
I was going to say Elon is not, but Zuck definitely is. He's like a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's definitely a fighter.
All right, so let's give that to Zuck then. So anyway, people assume immediately that their relationship is adversarial. So somebody had the foresight to ask one of these AI image generating programs, show me Zuck and Elon in a happy pose, cuddling. And they had them laying on the ground, on a bed, nose to nose. And that one was probably one of the best ones that I've seen in some time. Well, that kind of wraps up our show here, the Artificial Intelligence Show, or the Artificial Future Show. I'm Pete Gruber. We'll be back next week for another edition of the Gruber Morning Show and the Artificial Intelligence Show. Thank you.